Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 1 of October 2024. The deadline to submit the income tax audit report has been extended to October 7th, 2024 for those taxpayers who are required by law to conduct an income tax audit of their accounts and submit the audit report on or before September 30th, 2024. The report is required to be submitted online on the e-filing ITR portal. This extension is important as the penalty for submitting a tax audit report after the deadline is Rs 1.5 lakh or 0.5% of total sales, whichever is lower. Electric vehicle sales are rising globally due to policy pushes and stricter emission norms, but hybrid vehicles are gaining popularity faster. Since 2021, hybrid sales have surged in China, Japan, Korea, UK, France, and the US. India has also seen a slight increase in hybrid penetration despite fewer models available compared to electric vehicles. Banks in Mumbai are facing challenges with identifying ultimate beneficial owners or UBOs of foreign investments due to varying disclosure rules across countries. Banks handling foreign direct investments into local companies and overseas direct investments by Indian investors venturing abroad vet the last natural persons behind the larger shareholders of the investing entities. But in several cases, they are unable to peel off the layers to spot the real persons at the peak of what could be a multi-layered investment structure, primarily due to less demanding disclosure requirements in several countries. This issue has been discussed among senior bankers who believe India's anti-money laundering laws should adapt to different international standards to ensure compliance and transparency. In order to align the listing timeline in case of public issue of debt securities and non-convertible redeemable preference shares with that of non-convertible securities issued on private placement basis and specified securities, SEBI has decided to reduce the listing timeline in case of public issue of debt securities and non-convertible redeemable preference shares to T plus 3 working days from existing timeline of T plus 6 working days. Further, to ensure ease of compliance for issuers, the listing timeline of T plus 3 working days is introduced as an option to issuers for a period of 1 year and on a permanent basis thereafter, such that all listings occur on a T plus 3 basis. Despite expectations, SEBI has decided not to curb weekly F&O expirations or raise minimum contract sizes for now. This comes as the regulator grapples with a surge in speculative trading that has cost retail investors Rs 1.8 lakh crore over the past 3 years. Despite no new measures for F&O, SEBI board has approved a series of changes, including new asset class for high net worth individuals, mutual fund light regulations, reducing timelines for right issue, raising scrips for T plus 0 cycle, among others. Fresher hiring in the IT services sector is expected to witness a substantial rebound this year, with projections indicating a nearly 100% increase in entry-level hires compared to last fiscal. This optimism is driven by increasing demand in business, particularly in the banking, financial services, and insurance segment, the largest vertical for most IT firms, as well as strong large deal wins and global expansions by IT majors. SEBI has notified the SEBI Infrastructure Investment Trust Third Amendment Regulations 2024. An amendment has been made to Regulation 16 relating to listing and trading of units. As per the amended norms, SEBI has reduced the trading lot size for trading units on the designated stock exchange to Rs 25 lakhs. Currently, the trading lot size is Rs 1 crore. The Council of ICAI has decided to extend the last date for payment of annual membership or certificate of practice fee for the year 2024-25 from 30th September 2024 to 31st December 2024 on account of hardship being faced by the members in submission of Know Your Member form and payment of annual membership or certificate of practice fee due to technical issues in the self-service portal. The Union Budget 2024 included several significant proposals, which have been ratified in the Finance Bill. Some of these changes will come into effect from October 1st. These changes include revised TDS rates applicable from October 1st, 2024. 12 new smart cities in India will be developed as dedicated industrial hubs focusing on sectors like electric vehicles, pharmaceuticals, and food processing. These cities, spanning across 10 states, will feature advanced infrastructure and aim to create substantial job opportunities while attracting global investments. While the one in Agra is proposed as hub for electric vehicles and electronics system design and manufacturing, Palakkad could focus on medicines and botanicals. The industrial smart city in Gaya is being developed to generate maximum employment by setting up food processing, light engineering, and metal-related industries. TPG, JSW Energy, and Inox Wind are competing to acquire Siemens Gamesa's Renewable Power's Indian unit. Valued up to $500 million, the deal depends on contingent liabilities. Firms seek to bolster their renewable energy ventures. Siemens Gamesa aims to focus on core markets. The sale is part of Siemens' energy strategy to cut losses and improve profitability. The healthcare business of India's IT companies has been silently spearheading the $250 billion industry's growth, being a bright spot at a time when key verticals such as financial services, retail, and high-tech have been under pressure for almost 2 years now. Digital transformation in the healthcare sector is driving this business for IT firms. These are mostly small and medium deals, but the volume is high, and unlike in other verticals, the deal activity has not seen the post-COVID spike or slowdown that followed. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs, via its notification dated 28 September 2024, has introduced amendments to the company's Indian Accounting Standards Rules 2015. The notable changes are as follows. Number 1. Ind AS 104 for insurers. Insurance companies are permitted to continue applying Ind AS 104 for the consolidated financial statements by its parent or investor or venturer until Ind AS 117 is notified by the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. Number 2. Addition to Rule 5. A new proviso has been introduced in Rule 5 of the company's Indian Accounting Standards Rules 2015, requiring insurers to temporarily comply with Ind AS 104 as outlined in the newly added schedule under this notification. These amendments grant insurance entities additional time to transition to Ind AS 117, facilitating a smoother shift. Gold loans dominate NBFC loan sanctions in Q1, increasing by 26% year-on-year to Rs 79,218 crore, while personal loans fell by 4% due to RBI's higher risk weights on unsecured loans. RBI warned NBFCs of regulatory action for violations in gold lending practices observed during on-site examinations. The Department of Telecommunications is disappointed with telecom equipment makers for not meeting security certification requirements for Wi-Fi CPEs and IP routers. Despite extending the deadlines and addressing concerns, only few applications have been received. The certification process is critical to maintaining secure communications infrastructure. The new security mandate was scheduled to be implemented from October 1st, but since only a handful of companies have applied, the government has given another 1-month extension for companies to apply to avoid any disruption in supplies. India's real estate sector sees significant institutional investments in Q3 2024, with the office segment surging to $600 million, a 6.8-fold increase from the previous year, driven by major foreign players. Residential assets also record notable inflows of $400 million, up 40% year-on-year. SEBI has notified the SEBI Real Estate Investment Trust Third Amendment Regulations 2024. As per the amended norms, the voting threshold specified under REIT regulations must be calculated based on unit holders present and voting. Further, unit holders voting through the e-voting facility and postal ballot must also be counted for determination of unit holders present and voting. Also, the manager must provide unit holders with video conferencing and a remote e-voting facility for all meetings. The Ministry of Finance has released new guidelines for handling delayed tax refund claims and loss carry-forward applications. The new guidelines issued on Tuesday increase the limit of tax refund claim amount in condonation of delay cases, which will help taxpayers who missed filing any ITR, though had a tax refund due to him or her. Japan's Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, or MUFG, the world's second largest bank holding company, has re-entered the contest to acquire a majority stake in Yes Bank, India's sixth largest private bank by assets. This comes a month after MUFG's $2 billion proposal to invest in HDB Financial, the non-banking finance arm of HDFC Bank, got rejected by the Private Lenders Board in August. The current market value of Yes Bank is Rs 68,587 crore. A 51% stake sale would make it India's largest banking sector M&A. The centre has overhauled its plan to deploy electric vehicle charging stations by including subsidies for setting up 2- and 3-wheeler chargers. This is a significant development since earlier iterations of the EV subsidy scheme, called Faster Adoption and Manufacturing of Electric Vehicles or FAME, did not support deployment of 2- or 3-wheeler charging stations. This initiative aims to support deployment of 72,300 public charging stations through a Rs 2,000 crore allocation. Of these, 48,400 EV charging stations will be for 2- and 3-wheelers and 1,800 for buses. The average salary increase in India is likely to be 9.5% in 2024-25, compared to an actual increase of 9.3% in 2024, according to the first phase of the Aon Annual Salary Increase and Turnover Survey 2024-25. The study analyzed data across 1,176 companies from over 40 industries between July and August 2024. The engineering and manufacturing and retail industries project double-digit increases at 10%, closely followed by financial institutions at 9.9%, indicating the strategic importance employers place on talent in these sectors in the current economic landscape. India has approved a $1.2 billion initiative to double edible oil production within 7 years, aiming to reduce reliance on imports. The program will boost oilseed productivity using high-yield varieties and advanced technologies, targeting a production increase from 12.7 to 24.45 million metric tons by 2030-31. In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court ruled on Thursday that the Income Tax Act must be interpreted with the amended provisions effective from 1st April 2021. This ruling directly impacts approximately 90,000 reassessment notices, clarifying that the amendments introduced by the Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation and Amendment of Certain Provisions Act remain applicable to the Income Tax Act beyond the specified date. The verdict stems from the case involving Ashish Agarwal and sets aside several High Court rulings, including those from the Gujarat, Allahabad, Bombay, Orissa, and Delhi High Courts. This marks a significant victory for the tax department as the legal disputes began during the pandemic when the government extended regulations for reopening old tax assessments, leading to confusion between the old and new laws. The escalation in the US-China trade war is expected to help India increase its exports and attract investments from American companies. It is said that the two bills introduced by the US Senate, neither Permanent nor Normal Trade Relations Act or PNTR Act, and the Axing Non-Market Tariff Evasion or ANTE Act, create potential for growth in local industries as companies look to move production away from China. The Karnataka High Court has temporarily halted the Competition Commission of India's investigation into Flipkart and Amazon due to procedural errors by the Director General. The investigation alleges the e-commerce giants violated FDI rules and engaged in anti-competitive practices like exclusive launches, deep discounting, and preferential listings. A clutch of venture capital firms are actively trying to close the stubborn gender gap that continues to plague the global VC ecosystem, where the underrepresentation of women is especially glaring at senior levels. Bloom Ventures, Lightbox India Advisors, Lightspeed India, and Leo Capital are among those adding women across levels, including in investment, functional, and leadership teams. The belief is that diverse perspectives and experiences lead to more successful investments and decision-making, which helps serve consumers better and creates sustainable businesses. Car sunroofs are becoming popular in India. Global manufacturers are investing heavily with local partners to meet the increasing demand. The market for sunroofs is growing rapidly, leading to expansions and new deals. Companies are setting up new plants and increasing their production capabilities to cater to this trend. After flagging risks and tightening guidelines for peer-to-peer lending platforms in August, the Reserve Bank of India has requested specific loan disbursement data from these firms for the periods of April to June 2024, July 1st to August 16th, and August 16th to September 30th. The RBI released revised guidelines for peer-to-peer or P2P lending platforms on August 16th. Most platforms have provided this data to the regulator. The RBI also flagged regulatory violations by some P2P lending platforms, highlighting that some were promoting P2P lending as investment products, offering liquidity options, and operating as deposit takers and lenders rather than as intermediaries. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.